Hi guys, you're here with me, Jen the Taxidermy Witch, and as well as what I normally do, I'm also part of a collab channel with my friend Violet Taimes, and I'll attach her channel below. Storm Heathen, her name is Ash, I'll attach her channel below, and the Hollie Witch. And Violet has asked us to do a collab on some taboo topics, and I just did a whole thing on menstrual blood right before we talked about taboo topics. So I guess the next closest thing I have just like right here with me is Conjure, and you know, Hoodoo and root work and folk magic and stuff like that. And I want to just do some of the Q&A on the Conjure because I was reading through it and it's so interesting, you guys. I feel like it came right at the right time for me and what I've been doing. And I think you'll find out why, because it talks a lot about chicken feet, and I just started doing up all that chicken feet stuff. And I found out so much good. And it's going to be so easy, and there's a lot of things I want to talk about. And here's why it might be also taboo, especially in the witchcraft world. Conjure is directly connected with the Holy Bible, and you can't do conjure work without the assistance of the Bible. So that's taboo in our world in a way, because a lot of people think that you can't blend Christianity and witchcraft, and I know that that's false. So, Conjure Basics Q&A. I know some folks will oh, and we're reading out of this book. I know some folks will have a lot of questions about this work, while others who read this book will already know what I am talking about. I want to give some general questions. I want to go over some general questions here. What is Conjure? Conjure is magic, plain and simply. Conjure was brought over by the slaves from Africa. This is a combination of cultures, beliefs, and knowledges brought over by the ancestors, okay? Where did Conjure come from? Again, Conjure was brought to North America from Africa, where the first slaves came. Is it the same work that was done in the African homeland? And I really like this part, this Q&A. No, that was not possible. For one thing, the roots, herbs, trees, and the land in general were different. The ancestors weren't allowed to bring anything with them when they came from Africa to North America. So none of the things from their homeland came along with them. Instead, they found things over here that worked for them. And that's so inspiring, you guys. Let's say you were just ripped out of this country and had to go do all your practicing in somewhere that wasn't the same religion, and we'll read more on that and about how cool it was that they hid what they were doing in the Christian Bible. But you don't even have the same medicinal plants. Like, they came from a very hot area, and then this is not the same. So when people say, yeah, cinnamon has all these properties, these are the magical properties. Well, yes, they are, but you can sit there and you can do practical research and figure out how it works best for you, and that's when a Book of Shadows would be really important. But again, they just had the knowledge of their mind coming from the homeland of Africa, coming over here to North America, and trying to like work with these roots, plants, herbs, and figure out how they worked, and they had no knowledge of that. So they just used pure intuition to make this hoodoo practice, this conjure, which I absolutely love, because I'm always telling you guys you can do this. So the answer is no, it is not possible for it to be the same exact work. Who are the ancestors of Conjure? The ancestors of Conjure are the slaves that were captured and brought here on the slave ships to be sold, carrying only their knowledge, okay? Carrying only their knowledge. Were the ancestors of Conjure Christians? This question has caused many debates and outright battles. Some folks still refuse to accept the fact that Conjure is hidden within Christianity. I'll say that again. Conjure is hidden within Christianity, and here's why. Christianity was already in Africa by the time the ancestors were captured. History tells us this. Those who were not Christians, when they were captured, were soon forced to become Christians and made Christianity work for them, as well as over and over, as we will see over and over in this book. So to answer your question, yes, the ancestors of Conjure were Christians. They had absolutely no freedoms. They came here and had to be slaves, and they couldn't even follow their own religion, so they had to hide the witchcraft that they were doing, or the magic that they were doing, within the Bible. So when they were praying the Psalms and such, they were integrating their work into that, okay? And they were using Christianity as a way to hide what they were doing, okay? And I think that's really cool, and I think that's really inspirational, because people could do that today with witchcraft and Christianity in their very home life. You know, if you were somebody who is a closeted witch, or you just don't want to tell people about what's going on because it's personal to you, it takes time, you guys. It takes time to find who's going to be the person that you share with first. And after you share with that first person, oh my God. Okay, so can white folks do conjure work? Yes, they can, as long as they honor the ancestors of this work. And I can't remember what video I was talking about the other day. Oh, it was just yesterday, and I was saying, conjure books, you have to, you know, if you practice this, make sure that you respect the people who are the roots of this work. And that is the slaves that were brought to North America. So if you are, I guess, racist, then conjure's not for you. And I don't judge anybody. I think that racism comes from really sad upbringings and lack of knowledge, or too much information, like too much politics jammed in the head could make people racist. And I think today that that's a huge problem. Not to go off on a rant, I want to keep this awesome. But I do want to say that, to me, that's what I was trying to say the other day, was you have to respect the people who made this work, and if you don't do it. So can white folks do it? Yeah, absolutely. And you should. But we need to respect each other. Okay, I really like this one. What is a two-headed worker? A two-headed worker is a worker who works with both hands. This means that they can heal or curse, not just one or the other. Most conjure workers are two-headed workers. Now, more and more, I'm becoming a two-headed worker. I don't curse people. I do a lot of, reversal and return to sender, and I'm doing a little bit of hexing these days on people that need to just stay away. I'm doing binding. But in general, I am a two-headed worker because someone at work hurt my feelings so bad yesterday that I cried in front of everyone. And I'll tell that story in a different thing, and because I'm going to do a spell. But I see things in a different way now. Like, if you need something in life, you don't have to use words at all. You don't have to even talk to the person. I grabbed her straw and a bit of her handwriting, because we're waitresses. She put her glass in the dish bin, and I took the straw. It's just right after she said that horrible thing to me, which was just like the bottom line. And she said it in Japanese, so she didn't think I could understand. Well, I do understand Japanese, and as soon as I started crying, she realized that. But she was right next to me, and everybody in the area heard what she said. And I mean, it was really hurtful. So anyway, I'm becoming more of a two-headed worker these days because I don't want to use my words to let anyone know I'm upset with them, because it's just not working, and especially with these people I work with, it's just not working. So I just need to come home and do my workings to keep them away from me and get them to stop talking about me. I just want them to completely ignore me. The nice people I thrive on, but these certain people need to just stop. So becoming more of a two-headed worker. How does the Bible fit into Conjure? When the ancestors were forced into Christianity, they hid a lot of their workings within the Bible. The spirituals they sang and the stories they told. It is important that it is understood that the slaves had absolutely no freedom. They had no say in what they worshipped, but they were smart. They hid their worship within Christianity, and that's what I was saying before, because I just reread this Q&A before I sat down. Is Conjure a religion? No. Most Conjure workers are Christian, but Conjure is not a religion. And I'm guessing that most Conjure workers are Christian because the Bible's directly attached to this working. And a lot of people, if they have a Christian background, don't want to leave Jesus completely. So, and I felt that way first coming into witchcraft a lot. And then I realized you can worship multiple gods. Excellent. Jesus fits in there for me. Helped me form as an excellent person growing up, and I've always been able to call on him, and he's helped me in situations. Why take that out of your life when you come into something like witchcraft, where you can have multiple gods help you, and you can give offerings to multiple things? So that's my thought on it, and I'm really excited about Conjure because the Bible's already been a part of my life. But I'm not Christian, you guys. That's the other thing. I'm just excited to work with it in my workings. Where are we at? Do you have to be initiated? No, there's no initiation or priesthood in Conjure. Is Conjure the same thing as Santeria or Palo? No, it is a set of works that came out of slavery. It is not a religion. There are works in Santeria and... No, sorry. Are the works in Santeria and Palo the same as works in Conjure? No, they are not. They may be similar, but they are not the same. The work is done differently and the ingredients used are not the same. Do you have to be a Christian to be a Conjure worker? No, you do not have to be a Christian. But if you remove the Bible, then you are no longer doing Conjure work. So that's really important, you guys. If you remove the Bible, it's not Conjure work, you're doing something else. It's still magic, for sure. And, you guys, you could take Conjure, and you could just take the Bible out and be doing something else. Like, if it really makes you that uncomfortable, then don't use it. But I felt like that in points in my life where I wanted nothing to do with the Bible as like a rebellion of childhood religion and trying to find myself and stuff. And I feel sad about that now. Like, you know, it never felt good in my heart to completely remove my love for Jesus and Mary. So, really glad that at this point in my life I can harness that. And that at this point in my channel I can be honest with you guys about that, because I know that there's so many opinions out there. But, you know, these are coming from great people. I really love this Star Cassess lady. She's got great, interesting things to say. Where did we leave off? The Bible is an integral part of Conjure. There are a lot of folks who would love to take the Bible out of Conjure, but if you do, then it is no longer Conjure. You have to separate the Bible from the churches, because the churches are man-made and men make the rules. Why would you throw a powerful book away just because you don't like the church or the folks who run it? That's kind of what I'm saying. The folks who ran the church is what scared me away from it when I was a child. It has nothing to do with the Bible or Jesus, really. It was the people. So, you know, why take a powerful, great book away from that and when you're really upset with the people who run it? That's what she's trying to say here. This work is very powerful and it stands alone without a bunch of hocus pocus to make it be effective. I guess there's a hocus pocus too, but I've never even seen part 1. Oh my gosh, isn't that wild? What is an altar? In conjure work, the altar space to say your prayers, and the altar space is a place for you to say your prayers and meet spirit. A conjure altar can be as simple as a table covered with a cloth, or it can be as elaborate as you'd like it to be. When I go to Uncle Ike's, I'm leaving a week from today, actually. Like, in exactly 7 days I'll be leaving, because at 4 a.m. we leave. I'm so excited. I need a little getaway, but I'm also nervous to leave my things. Why did I start? Oh, because my granddad and my grandmother are buried out there. So, I've always believed that you can collect graveyard dirt directly from the grave of someone you know and love. And so I'm going to be getting ancestor dirt, and I'll take you guys out there to meet my grandparents at a teeny tiny cemetery in a little teeny tiny town called Viola, where the population is like 400 people. Really cool. Okay, so I'm going to have some of that ancestor altar on there, because Conjure's all about working with the ancestors, okay? From what I can understand so far. What is the Holy Trinity? The Holy Trinity is God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit, or the Holy Ghost, the sacred number 3. What is a conjure hand? A conjure hand can be a packet, a mojo bag, or a jackball. Each one of them is made a little differently, but they are still conjure hands. These sound really cool, and I'm excited to make some. A packet is a piece of red flannel cloth that the ingredients have been loaded into, and then it's folded into a square and you stitch it all the way shut. That's a packet. Or also called a conjure hand. Okay. A mojo ball is a red flannel bag that is hand sewn, and the ingredients are loaded in the bag, and it is tied shut. Like a hobo bag, tied shut. A jack ball is different from the packet and the conjure bag because, it says conjure bag, but he called it a mojo bag here. Anyway, because it is wrapped with red cotton string until the ingredients are covered in the shape of a ball. So that you get the ingredients, and then you take red cotton string and you wrap it around the ingredients until it's the shape of a, red ball of tiny yarn. Is a conjured dolly the same as a voodoo doll? No, a conjured dolly is usually made to represent a target that will be worked on. A dolly is named for the target and may be loaded with the target's personal concerns, such as hair, nail clippings, or maybe a photo. Most of the time, a voodoo doll is made to honor the spirits. I didn't know that. Well, I've heard that, but I didn't know particularly. But they can also be made to represent a target for a work aimed at a target. Is prayer important? Yes, prayer is a big part of conjure. Do conjure workers believe in karma? Nope. The concept of karma does not exist in conjure. This does not mean that you can just run wild. Conjure workers believe that it is okay to do any type of work as long as it's justified. In that case, there would be no repercussions. To me, if I personally believe in karma and I start doing conjure work, that doesn't mean that, to me, this is my opinion, it doesn't mean that all my karma thoughts are going to go out the window, but it is good to know that in conjure work, it's really just based upon if it's justified, okay? Now it asks, and this is going to be your next question too, how do we know if it's justified? What does justified mean? In conjure work, justified basically means that a target has to have done you a wrong. I don't mean a slight or they made you mad. You have to have a good reason for the work. It is really important that you understand that you and you alone are responsible for your actions. So make sure you have a good reason for doing the work. Just because you don't like someone is not a good enough reason. So, this woman at work, I've been having trouble with her for months. 3 months since I started back up, and she's been the cruelest person to work with. But when she had this blowout and she called me in Japanese with probably 6 people standing right there who knew Japanese, and she called me a fucking piece of shit American idiot, and then I also heard the word worthless. And then just tears started to fall out of my face. And everyone around realized at that moment that I understood what she said. So, I feel at this point that and she didn't apologize. I don't even think she felt bad. I think she just felt like kind of dumb or like new information. She knows Japanese. Be careful. So I have read some ways to remove her from my life, and this does not cause any harm to her. If I do a spell to remove her from my life, this just means that when my boss goes to write out the schedule, she's not going to put us together anymore, and I don't even have to ask for it. That removes her from my life. Sometimes she comes in to eat, and she won't come in to eat on the days that I work, Okay, I don't want this video to go too far, but I will be showing you guys the spell that I end up doing to get her mouth shut, to stop talking about me. And so far I've collected a straw and some bits of her handwriting. Okay, it's pretty important. Karma, justified. Do works have to be justified? Yes, as a rule, anytime you work on someone, the work should be justified. The every action causes a reaction rule works here. You can't cross someone up just because they pissed you off, like I was saying before. That would just be unjust. Also, if your target did a reversal, then you would get hit with your own work. What is a reversal? I'm going to skip that because I think we know what a reversal is. And the video's getting quite long. What do you need to be a good worker? That's a good question. You need faith in yourself to start with. At least 50% of the work is knowing it will be a success. I 1000% agree with that, you guys. Going into the working, don't think in your mind, I hope this works. You need to know that it will, and you need to hold your head high and have firm confidence and speak it as the truth, because it then will be. That's the way the universe works, you guys. That's just the way it does. It's the way it resonates. If you say, I'm happy all day long, you will be happy. If you say, I'm sick, I need this, I need that, you'll feel like garbage. Okay. So, claiming success the minute the need for the work arrives. You cannot second guess yourself for your work. If you do, you're just wasting your time. Will I go to hell for doing conjure work? Good question. Absolutely not. Conjure work is done in the belief that anything one does as justified work is okay. You can't be blamed for doing work that is justified. Will I be harmed if I work with folks? Some folks tend to be worried that doing works on behalf of others, so I wanted to face that question here. This one is tricky because it really has a yes answer and a no answer. I'll start with the yes. Yes, you can be harmed if you work on someone and you do not have protections up and do not do cleansing after the work. No, you cannot be harmed as long as you are protected. Keep up with your cleansing work and only do justified works. Am I doing black magic? No. Conjure workers do not have anything to do with black magic. Conjure workers only do justified works. They do not put magic on folks with the intent to harm. Do you understand that? I'll say that again. Conjure workers only do justified works. They do not put magics on folks with the intent to harm. So, I'm not trying to harm this woman. I'm just trying to take her out of my life. I don't want to be near her ever again. How do I know if I'm being conjured? Usually when someone has done a work, and I'm going to skip that. There's a lot to it, and if you guys want to know those answers, how do you know if you're being conjured, and how do you reverse being conjured, I can tell you that. Can I start a candle work and then stop it until the next day? Some great answers in here. And I think I'll have time to answer this one. Okay, can I start a candle work and then stop it until the next day? Will it affect the work? I hear this question over and over again, and so do I, from folks who have been told that if they put a candle out during the work, it'll affect the work and the work will not be a success. This is some rule that someone set for themselves, and it has been passed around and has been some folks' truth. I can't speak for other modalities, but there are no such rules in conjure work. The truth is that sometimes it's good to let a work rest in between workings. You should put the candles out after you say your prayers. It all depends on the work you are doing. Also, for various reasons, some folks can't leave a candle burning in their home indefinitely and must put it out. This should not affect the work as long as you do the workings daily. Okay, can I blow out a candle? I love this question because you guys know I don't blow out candles. I actually do this to get them to go out. My mom is currently making me a stomper. But for now I do that. And also, if you don't want to relight a whole new match, you can use your old one if you kept it. I guess that's what that's for. Okay, but yeah, now I'll read. See how much light that took away and gave? Candles give great light, I think. This is a can I blow out a candle? This is a secret I've never shared before. Here's a work to remove someone from your life. That's what I was talking about. First, write the target's name on a stick candle using a knife, just like we do candle magics on a little tiny candle using a knife. Write their name. Then when the hands of the clock are going down, light the candle while calling out the target's name 3 times. Let the candle burn down for 5 minutes, then call their name 3 times again and blow the candle out. Like that. Blow it out for this working. Repeat the process daily until the candle is burned out. 5 minutes at a time, 5 minutes at a time. It'd take about 2 weeks at 5 minutes at a time. Because those candles usually burn for about 40 to an hour. 40 minutes to an hour, so maybe 14, 16 days. I don't know, I'm not good at the maths. Repeat the process. Okay, till the candle is burned out. Throw away all the leftover wax and bits at the crossroads. So you see, sometimes you can blow out a candle. Can I use matches to light my candles? Yes, you can. I always use matches because I hear butane sucks the spell out of the power out of the spell. But listen. Yes, you can. Old folks say that the sulfur from the matches will drive the devil away. So it's almost like you're cleansing the area from the evil spirits just by lighting with a match, you guys. That's awesome. Or you could have sulfur around. I have sulfur. How does the family live with a conjure worker? For me and my family, this has never been an issue. My children grew up around my mama, so it was just natural for them. My mama treated my husband and his mama as a worker, so there was never an issue. He told me once if he had known I was like his mama, he would probably not have married me. I wasn't insulted. I took it as a compliment because his mama was a very powerful woman. Like my mama, she took care of business. Most workers who are not raised in the culture do not have that easy. Sometimes they have to even go as far as hiding the work from family members. My advice is take it slow, introduce the work in a small dose, maybe start with prosperity working or something that they will see as helping and positive. Try not to shove it into their faces. Take your time and let them get used to the work little by little. They may never approve of it, and if in this case, just do your workings in private. Conjure is about tricks. You have to learn how to hide your work while still doing it in plain sight. Just take it real slow. There isn't any rush. And that's what I was talking about with what they did when they made this practice of conjure. The slaves brought it over from Africa to North America. They were forced into the religion of Christianity. They had to hide that what they were doing, which was actually conjure and witchcraft and magic, they had to hide it and make it look like they were reading the Bible. So I hope that last paragraph kind of made sense and resonated with that. I'm just so excited about this book. Like, I can't tell you how it's a non-stop read so far from start to finish. I can't put it down. And that's why I even forgot to do a video last night. I've not been able to put this down, and I'm going to keep reading it to you guys because I'm going to stop this video and restart it because we're going to talk about bone divination. And I'm so fascinated with it, you guys. Come back to learn more about Conjure, and make sure to check out my girls' channels. We're doing taboo topics this week. That is the Hollie Witch, Storm Heathen, myself, the Taxidermy Witch, and Violet Taimes. Thanks, you guys. All my love.